All right, so we do have a multi-stakeholders panel today. As you can tell that they come from different backgrounds, right? So they come from the industry, research institute, government agencies as well. So to kick off, perhaps to give all of the audience some context about the work that you do and your role, perhaps we could have you guys introduce yourself, your area of expertise, a key work that you do, right? And then we're going to kick off with the question. Perhaps, Graham, you'd like to start first.
Morning, everybody. Thanks, Renee. My name is Graham Rice. I work for Braun here in Penang. I've been with Braun for 10 years now, but living in Southeast Asia for 27 years. My background is in procurement and supply chain, so a lot of my work, my work experiences have been about what we refer to today as building global supply chains. So that's my, if you like, my functional background in procurement and supply chain, and I find myself now responsible for sustainability with Braun. It's a regional role, so covers 16 countries in the region, 10 factories, so from Japan down to Australia to India and Sri Lanka and in Southeast Asia. So thanks, Renee.
Thank you. And May?
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is May. I am from A-Star. So I'm trained in mechanical engineering with a PhD in biomedical engineering. In my current portfolio in A-Star, I look after advanced manufacturing research planning for Singapore, together with our economic agencies, EDB and Enterprise. So what does advanced manufacturing cover in my portfolio? Basically, I am focused actually a lot more on the precision engineering and cross smart manufacturing capabilities, like, for example, your robotics, your automation, applied AI in manufacturing. So my role is beyond research planning to launch programs that will help companies to be able to adopt such technologies in Singapore. Thank you.
Okay, Ramesh.
Hi, good morning. My name is Ramesh. I'm from Northern Corridor Implementation Authority. For the benefit of all, NCER actually is an investment promotion agency that runs the Northern Corridor Economic Region, which covers 4 states in the north, Kedah, Perlis, Penang, and Perak. We actually drive strategic policies, high-impact projects, as well as private sector involvement to promote inclusive growth. We cover many areas such as high-value manufacturing, modern agriculture, advanced material, as well as community empowerment programs to promote NCER as an innovation and investment hub in the north. Our objectives are very clear. Basically, is to boost economic potential, to address uneven development and growth in the northern region among the 4 states, and also to promote equitable economic growth. Thanks.
Viknesh?
Morning, everyone. My name is Vikneswaran, but you all can call me Vicky. I'm from MDEC, Malaysia Digital Economy Corporation. I'm leading the vertical of global business services and also emerging tech. So emerging tech cuts across semiconductors, IC design, and all the industry-related technology. I've been in industry for 19 years, served corporates and also government stakeholders. So my division, particularly, we cover Malaysia as a whole, so for all the 14 states. And also, my team also look into foreign and domestic investment attraction. So we facilitate for new investors that are coming into Malaysia. We work very closely with all the federal government agencies to support all the growth in certain located state engagements as well. Thank you.
All right, so our topic today is about driving a sustainable economy through innovation, manufacturing, and investment strategies. So I'd like to hear from you, how can innovation in manufacturing and advanced tech strengthen long-term resilience in our economy? And what are you guys doing today in your organization? Yeah, perhaps you can start with Graham.
Yeah, thanks, Renee. I'd like to come back a bit, if we can, and talk about Industry 5.0. And you know, when we talk about innovation and technology, I learned from yesterday's discussions that the ESG and sustainability plays a big role in Industry 5.0. So if we are going to generate technologies and innovation that move us forward over the next 10, 20 years, whatever it is, how does the innovation meet our sustainability goals? What are the planetary boundaries that we need to work within? So for me, there's the big intersection there between the innovation, the technology piece, and sustainability. So I'm not going to pretend to try to answer it now in that question, but how do we deal with decarbonization? How do we deal with circularity and the waste profile? If you look across Southeast Asia, we have some big challenges. What are the social topics that you alluded to in your opening topic this morning? Those kind of questions, I think, often don't get addressed and answered in these discussions. So I want to bring those up. Thank you.
And me?
Yeah, so adding on to Industry 5.0, one of the challenges that I see with many of our local companies, at least in Singapore, is that they struggle to maybe adopt technology, right? Even if they see that sustainability drives are coming, Industry 5.0 is coming. So what I want to bring up actually is for the companies that have adopted innovation in this space, we find that they are able to save costs. So it actually helps them with the bottom line. So I would like to propose this to the companies that first off, by adopting innovation and embracing technologies, you would be able to achieve better bottom lines. Secondly, if you are able to keep up with the changing rules, then you are able to retain customers and perhaps even be able to come up with new products that will help you to reach new economies, new markets. So that is the short term as well as the long term, at least from my perspective.
At least with scalability now. With
Exactly.
tech.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And yourself, Ramesh?
For me, in terms of resilience, I think one of it is basically diversification value added. We need to move from low assembly to higher manufacturing, be it precision engineering or advanced manufacturing, in order to build resilience against long-term impacts. That's one of it. The other would be, I would say, adoption of digital. Now it's IR 5.0 in order to reduce waste, lower costs, as well as strengthen the supply chain reliability. That would be one of them. And then, of course, there's also be the SME transformation. We need to support the SMEs in the adoption of industry and automation in order for them to move up the value chain and not just being the local player. And sustainable integration will be another area whereby innovation in green technology, in renewable energy and green infrastructure will help the company to be more competitive, at the same time comply with global ESG standards.
Okay. And Vicky?
I think my answer will coming from a government perspective, right? So when we have this kind of request, the 5.0 coming in, and then we need to understand from government perspective, we also want to understand what are the challenges actually the people in the ground, the industries are facing. So this is where MDEC, MIDA, MITI, even Northern Corridors, we will come together and understand how we actually can facilitate. Because like when we're talking about digital transformation, sustainability, right? Not every single company can adopt into the sustainability or even digital adoption. It's a big thing actually. It's kind of a word, but it's a big thing for a lot of industry. So this is where the government want to understand. We have a lot of workshop, webinars going on every month, even in KL and Penang, to understand what actually industry is looking at and where government can come in and facilitate to support the growth and to move the chain forward actually.
Okay. And in your experience, what would be the most effective ways to align your innovation strategies with investment priorities to accelerate growth opportunities in Asia? Who would like to answer first?
I would say cluster-based ecosystems. That is how we
Cluster-based ecosystem.
That's how we've been successful in the Northern Corridor Economic Region, because when you build industrial clusters, like how we did for semiconductor in Kulim High Tech Park and Penang, in terms of agri-tech in Perlis and Kedah, as well as renewable energy in Chuping Valley Industrial Area, you actually provide the investors the needs of integrated supply chain. It helps them in that aspect when they're looking for integrated supply chain. That will be one area. And then again, in terms of public and private partnership, I think innovation thrives when industry, academia, and the government collaborates as it helps them to reduce the risk. That will be another point that I'd like to stress on.
PPP?
And maybe also talent, sorry. Skill development workforce, right, is very crucial either to the programs that we do in NCIA or through university partnerships. That will help actually investors who are in need of emerging and niche area talent.
So invest in talent development as well. That's important. May you want to say something?
Yeah, so I completely agree with that. I just wanted to add that one of the things that we've been working on doing in Singapore is also actually going along those lines, but really then trying to give the innovation mandate to our local companies, meaning to say we help the local companies to create products and also to engage with MNCs to be able to then do their R&D in Singapore. Right. So that then with this, the ecosystem grows stronger. We move up the value chain. And together with the talent development, then we are able to anchor a longer term investment within Singapore as well.
Interesting. So you have an innovation mandate. You make the smaller companies, implement technologies. At the same time, you make the big entities develop R&D so that they can further have new developments and then of course, if the talent coming in with new requirements and new roles as well. Okay, and Graham, any thoughts?
Yeah, a lot of thoughts actually, but I think it depends whether we look top down or bottoms up sometimes. How do I come from a medical technology company, relatively large. So we get, for example, we get top down targets. So for example, CO2 reduction targets. And we are dependent on, if like the infrastructure in Malaysia to be able to source green energy, which thankfully from Tenaga you can, and the availability of solar technology you can put on roofs and so on. We're lucky in Malaysia that you have a top down and a bottoms up connection. But in some areas the connection between the infrastructure that's available and the ability to innovate and move forward is not always aligned. So to me, there are timing gaps between, if like the infrastructure and if like meeting bottoms-up initiatives. So I think there's a lot that we can talk about and align between industry and government in terms of what needs to happen, whether it be the infrastructure that Tenaga is able to support for the transition to green energy, and the same in Vietnam and Indonesia, that there is a big gap as you go forward 10, 20 years. If we want to grow data center technology, you've got to have access to green energy. I don't have to, but you should do. So how does Malaysia provide that green infrastructure? So that's for me where we're really being long-sighted in terms of what needs to happen from an infrastructure point of view, so that from a bottoms-up point of view, industry players can incrementally kind of work towards that. So I think there's a lot to discuss in some of those areas.
All right. And to May, and can you share some of the case studies, successful case studies, where A-Star's collaborations with SMEs or the industry have translated into improved manufacturing processes, or any and what future innovation trends do you see shaping the region's sustainable growth?
Okay, so I'd like to share two very succinct cases. So the first one is in the aerospace industry. So I think in 2017, we launched a joint project with Rolls-Royce and Sazal, which are aerospace companies. Rolls-Royce, I think you all know, manufactures fan blades in Singapore. So through that collaboration, we were actually able to get some of our SMEs on board the supply chain of Rolls-Royce. And one specific example is KA Industrial Engineering, which actually now deploys a automated spraying process in Rolls-Royce facility in Seletar. So that's one specific example. Another case that I want to share with you is a slightly different example. So not automation, which we are all talking about today, but actually process innovation. So this is a company called Mencast, which is a marine offshore. So it's a different sector. I think Singapore, our hubs are really important to us. So marine offshore is a crucial sector. And what Mencast has done is again through a joint lab with A-Star. They not only innovated on the design of the propeller, marine propellers, but they also came up with a new way of fabrication, which actually then helped them, I think, 80% in cost savings for the materials, right? And they were able to get this certified. This is the first 3D printed marine propeller that is certified in Singapore. And yeah, so they are right now ready to deploy. So these are very specific case examples.
Okay, and for NCER, right? You spoke about cluster ecosystems just now, right? So with NCER driving cluster-based growth across different sectors like semicon, advanced materials, agrotech, renewables, what role will initiatives like the Advanced Packaging Institute and Research Center play in strengthening Malaysia's position in global supply chain?
I think before I start on Advanced Packaging Research Center, I'd like to go back a bit, one step on our initiatives on innovation in NCR. In our perception, innovation can't happen in isolation. We are in the opinion that there has to be an industry, academia, and university collaboration with the government in order to come up with programs. So we have come up with two programs. The first was NCR Technology Innovation Center, which is in Bayan Lepas, that works closely with the universities, TVETs and polytechnics to develop skilled workforce, right? And at the same time, support SMEs to adopt digitization as well as automation. Another one that we have is called the Talent and Innovation Program, where we actually directly support R&D prototyping as well as skill development in the areas of semiconductor, advanced material, as well as green manufacturing. One of our new initiatives is what you mentioned, is advanced packaging that we're embarking on. As you know, Malaysia is the sixth largest exporter in semiconductor and holds about 13% shares in packaging, assembly, and testing, right? And the semiconductor industry complements many industry applications, be it in aerospace, consumer electronics, and the list goes on. So there is a need for an industrial transformation. So as we move on to keep up pace, we need to embark on advanced packaging. And as the E&E, in order for the E&E sector to grow from 593 billion to 1.2 trillion by the year 2030, which is a CAGR of about 15%. All right, so the transformation that's required is basically to move from conventional IC to advanced packaging, and that is what we're embarking on. And we have set up a center called Advanced Packaging Institute Research Center in Bayan Lepas as well. And it was recently announced by the Minister of Trade as well during the ASEAN Semiconductor Summit in July. So basically what the center will do is it will provide shared services for chip design and testing for AP, a talent hub, as well as industry global academia collaboration. It will also support emerging technologies such as wafer level packaging, panel level packaging, 2D, 2.5, 3D stacking, as well as fan in, fan out. So in our opinion, the advanced packaging would bring a strong value to the semiconductor industry. In terms of outcomes, we are looking at a revenue growth for local OSATs of about 8 billion by the year 2032, and the semiconductor ecosystem to move up about 3% to reach about 8.5 billion in 2032. So we hope to recognize the team that is not only made in Malaysia, but made in and by Malaysia through this initiative.
What kind of talent that you hope to develop for the country?
So currently, we are talking about all this buzzword of AI. That's why we are talking about AI engineers, developers, coder, and also we are talking about IC design experts, engineers, right? So whichever high impact technology that we keep looking at. So what we do, we have few key clients or key stakeholders in this industry, which always encourage them to come together with us to share with academia. We have a multiple session with Ministry of Higher Education to actually share what actually the corporates are looking, what are the 5 years plan, what are the 10 years plan in certain industry, and what are the adoption that the academia need to be ready at. So these are some of the key, because we see the jobs and the professionalism will change over the time. Any evolution coming in, some new work or job description will come in on top of whatever we are doing. Engineers, now we have these prompt engineers, right? So all these things are evolving. So we need to make sure whether we are ready with our talents or not. If you ask me, was government ready? I would say yes, but will the academia ready for these changes or not? So this is where the government are coming in, pushing hard to make sure academia also ready to adopt to support the future business of Malaysia.
Challenging one because government influence and then the industry has to come in
Correct.
as well. Yeah.